We're back with the Mx5 today, everyone. We need to get it ready for the road, so please stick around and check out the work we're going to be doing. So we are back at the Mx5 today, everyone, because we have so many jobs to do and we want to get it back on the road for Easter. So here's our list of jobs that we need to get done. And as you can see, I've highlighted a certain few jobs here because these are the ones I want to focus on today. These are also some of the easier jobs. I'm going to leave the more difficult ones, I suppose, until we get our car lift installed, which you're going to see the kind of groundwork for that in a few minutes. So we do have so many jobs that I want to get through today, the main one being fitting our new wheels. So that's really exciting, and we're going to see that in a few minutes, and we're also going to see the new lift that's going to be going in. I want to fit our number plates, reflectors, rubber seals, so many things to get through today, and we'll be one step closer to getting the car on the road. And what you're looking at here on the ground is the groundworks for the car lift that we're going to be putting in. So as you can see, there is a hole dug in the ground on both sides, and it's going to be flush with the ground. So this makes it so convenient for working cars that are lower to the ground, and it's going to make working cars just so much more bearable, so much easier, and make it a lot less tedious. Here we have our wheel selection. So they're JR7s. They are 15-inch by ET35 8J. So they're quite a thick wheel, and we did have to get a little bit of a tire stretch because they were the only tires I could get, I suppose, in a short space of time. There's a little bit of stretch on them. They are 195s by 50, I believe. And they're going to suit the car really well, and the little bit of a stretch will allow, I suppose, for a better turning radius, that there shouldn't be any scrubbing, so it should be okay. And if you want expert approval, here he is. He really loves the wheels and he can't wait to see them on the car. And now look, we're back to fitting the battery once again, so we're getting it in there. If you're wondering what that switch is behind the battery, you can see kind of a black switch there. That is our battery isolation switch, very important. We kind of install these in all of our vintage cars. So we're getting that battery in, and we're going to get the car started up, and we're going to get it lifted off the ground because it is too low down for getting a jack under there. Before we get it started up, I just want to check our oil, check our engine bay, make sure everything is okay, because it wasn't stored for quite a while, so just make sure there's no random bits of masking tape resting on something that could get hot, or get caught in the belt, that kind of thing. Now that everything has been checked, we're going to start up the car, we're going to reverse it and drive it up on 2 blocks that I'm going to set up in front of the car. Because the car is so low down onto the ground, I did need to drive up on 2 timber blocks. I'm sure a lot of people who own Mx5s are familiar with this. So it'll be a lot easier when we get our car lift in, because it's going to be flush to the ground, so we really can't wait to get that in there. So now that we have the car risen up off the ground a little bit, we are going to get our jack under there. I do usually like to jack it from the suspension because it's just stronger and I don't like to mark the metal, especially just after painting it on the sills. But I just couldn't get in far enough, so we did have to put the sills in the end, unfortunately. So this would be a bit of a slower clip, just for the first wheel as we get our first one on, and then I'll do a bit of a speed up on the rest of the clips. So after we did get the car jacked up, I did make a little bit of a mistake, unfortunately. So as you're about to see with my impact gun, I tried to break the wheel bolts loose, but one came off very successfully. Then the next three were seized. So I did have to bring the car back down the ground and break those with a breaker bar. I went around as well off video just to get them all done, rather than doing it one at a time. So yeah, that was my own fault, but look, a very minor mistake. And right around this point, I was starting to get a bit more excited because I've been waiting for the last month, 2 months to get these wheels fitted, so really couldn't get the way to just get these wheels off and fit the new ones. They do have a bit of overspray, things like that in them, a bit of paint in them, but I really didn't care. They were covered, but a bit of overspray still got at them when I was doing primer. The sheets that were covering them did come loose. And here we have our new wheels, and I just could not contain my excitement when I fitted these. I just couldn't believe that I actually finally got to this stage. And if you are wondering why I'm doing probably the most awkward looking jackie up of all time and having to keep the wheel pressed up against the car, is because these are a bit of a thicker tire, so the car will be lifted off the ground a little bit more, which is what I wanted because this car is ridiculously low. I might actually have to raise it up a bit more just so it's a bit more practical. So it is only about a half a foot off the ground, which is ridiculously low, and I am worried about that sump. I might get a sump guard, but I do want it to be a bit more practical because I do live in the country. Our roads are really terrible. So yeah, I was happy I picked a thicker tire, and it kind of suited the stretch a bit more. I do have a set of locking wheel nuts, but I really don't know if they make that much of a difference. It is a pretty common key to have, so like if someone really wanted your wheels, I'm sure they get them. I wouldn't advise keeping the key inside the car because all they have to do is smash a window. So anyway, here is our wheel fitted, and I was genuinely thrilled when I got to this stage. I took about 10 photos, 20 photos, even though I didn't even get to all the wheels at this stage. But yeah, I was really pleased with how they came out. Please don't judge me for the bit of paint on the rear of the exhaust. I do plan on fitting a new exhaust. Again, this one is a bit rusty and it doesn't sound too great, so yeah. Here is our suspension, and again, unfortunately, a little bit of paint did get there after all my work of painting all the suspension black, so I'll have to go over that again, but I really don't mind too much. Here's all the welding in the inside of the arch that we got done. Looks really solid, really great. I do need to do the rear brake pads. That's a job for another day. We'll focus on our main jobs for today, and we'll get our new wheel fitted. So after getting all of our locking nuts fitted there, I'm going to lower the car back down the ground, and you might see that it's a little bit off the ground, but that's just because the front is still raised off the ground. So when I get the car fully flush on the ground, you'll see that it'll be a lot more even height. This is a bracket that we'll need to fit onto the sway bar because I just misplaced the other one. I cannot find it anywhere, so we're going to see that in a couple of minutes. After we finish this wheel, I made a little bit of a mistake here. It would have made a lot more sense if I just fitted the bracket with the wheel off, but I was just really tunnel vision, I guess is what you call it. Just wanted to get all the wheels on and see what it looked like on the ground. Now getting all those bolts fitted again and tighten them all up, get our impact gun, give them just a very quick squeeze. I don't have them all torqued yet. I'm going to do that when I know for sure I don't need to take the wheels off again, because I will need to go around, check all the brake pads. I do need to fit new rear brake pads and check the fronts as well. I can't remember quiet out. I don't think they're too bad. I do think the brake calipers are a little bit seized, so I might need to refurbish them, get new ones, or maybe it's just pins that they just might need to be greased up or something like that. So I'll investigate all of this when we get our lift on. Now, and finally we are onto our last wheel, so I really can't wait to drive the car off the ramp, or not off the ramp, off the blocks that I set up, see the car on the ground and see what our fitment looks like. We are onto fitting our bracket like I showed there in a few clips ago, so it was a little bit of an awkward bracket to fit. The first bolt went in quite easily for me. When I got to the second one, it was being a little bit awkward, but I do get there eventually. So I should have fitted this when I had the wheel off and I had the chance when I had a bit more access, but we got there. I did try and thread this bolt by hand. It wasn't really working for me eventually. I think I just need to put a bit more pressure on it, so I did manage to get there eventually and squeeze it up at the impact. I'm going to torque all these when I have the car up off the ground, but for now it'll do, just for a few test drives and make sure everything is working. So we are getting onto the more fine details. We're fitting reflectors, and I do need to do a few more fine jobs like this. They went on quite easily, and it is really nice to see when these kind of things work out. So got all of these in, and I'm happy with the condition of them. I'm not going to get new ones, anything like that. You can get ones off eBay or AliExpress that I think light up. I think you need to make wiring for them, I'm not too sure. But as I said, I'm happy with these ones. I think they suit the car, and I like to keep the car as original as possible, with adding, I suppose, a few more mods to improve the handling, and maybe something like a front lip, or I do have side skirts for the car. I got them off a guy in West Cork, so let's see if we get them fitted as well. After NCT probably. I just want to focus on getting the car back on the road. So here are our rubber seals, and unfortunately, you can see the middle of it there, it's sagging down, so I couldn't get it to stay. So I don't know what people do for this. I'm going to have to go onto forums, check what they do, because usually that should just stick on there, but it is bolted in, so maybe it might need a dab of tiger seal or something, but I really don't want to go, I don't want to make it permanently there in case it ever needs to come off, be replaced. So I'll see, I'll check our forums, and we're getting onto the sill here now. So I try not to edit out when I make mistakes, because I do make a lot of them, so I suppose there wouldn't be much video time if I kept editing out mistakes that I made. But yeah, I put on the wrong sill here first, and it wasn't lining up, so I went to grab my other one, and I got it fitted, went straight on, and tightened up all the screws for this. So like, it really is exciting when you start getting onto these finer details. I got all the rubber seals in around the hardtop as well, around the doors, and all these details really kind of, I suppose, they're quite motivating to get to that stage of the project. You do feel a sense of accomplishment, because like, painting a car is really tedious. It's really hard work. So it is really nice to get to this stage of doing more fun work, fitting mods like this Jap plate here I'm about to fit. So if you want to fit a Jap plate, this is how I did it. I got my plate I got the bracket from adverts.ie, and I got the plate from, I think I got it from Retro Garage. I think I got it from their website. So if you're looking for a Jap plate, it's a really high quality one. It's a press plate. So yeah, have a look there, and I'm just trying to check out where it needs to go. And as you can see here, unfortunately, the bracket didn't quite fit the number plate. It needs to be off center slightly, but look, it's not something you're going to notice. I can just grind off the end of it there, the bit of excess on that bracket. So I'm just making sure that the bracket is flush with the bottom of the plate, and then we're going to mark it out with a bit of pen, a bit of marker, and then we're going to punch the holes, and then we're going to judge through. And the next job to go from here is, if you can kind of see where I marked it, I did punch it, I didn't get a chance to record it. But here's another mistake that I did make. So I didn't put pressure on the plate while I was drilling down. Again, I just had tunnel vision. I wanted to get it done as quickly as possible, not bearing in mind that the plate might kick back at me, but anyway, just put a bit of pressure on it if you're doing a job like this. And you will have jagged, I suppose, edges on your holes, so you need to get a bigger drill bit and just go around it like that to get any of the filings off. Now, I am using the bolts from a previous plate that I had. These are more plastic ones, so they might be easier to put on and off. And here is a fitted. So it looks absolutely beautiful. If you go onto any of the previous photos onto my Instagram, it just looks so much better than the previous plate. And here are wheels. The fitment is absolutely sublime. The off-center is ET35 if anyone wants to, I suppose, get similar wheels, or if you want to get any wheels, just know that they will be flush if you get ET35. Getting around to the car here, rubber seals all fitted up, so we got so much done today. Really happy. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a walk around, and yeah. As you can see, I have a hat there from the Craig Green Foundation, so it's really worth getting stuff from their website because some of the proceeds do go to their foundation. But here is the car. It looks so fantastic. I suppose the setup for the suspension looks really good, and our Jap plate looks really good, and all the rubber seals and everything fitted look just, they add that bit of extra detail. So here's just a bit of videography I decided to do towards the end of the day. I do upload some of these videos on TikTok and on Instagram, so look, check those out. I do try and post as much as possible whenever I get a chance. So yeah. So we do have a lot of work that we need to get done the next day. I do need, here I'm checking this, the reverse light is working. It's still not working after I did the gearbox change. So it could be a fuse, it could be the reverse light switch, or it could just be a bug. So I need to check all of those the next day. So we have lots of work to do. So thanks a million and stay tuned for next time.